All right, well, hello guys. Thank you for logging in to watch this video so that you can get a little head start so we can just jump into some problems when you come straight to class tomorrow. So, we've dealt with, again, reviewing linear systems. And again, that's two lines that when they come together, we're trying to find where they cross each other. And so we know that usually they only have one solution, and we can graph it, we can use elimination, or we can use substitution. Those are all the different ways. Now we're dealing with problems that one of them is linear, but the other one is quadratic. So the ones that make, so a graph that makes a parabola and a graph that makes a line. And we want to find out the places where the two graphs cross each other. Okay? So if you think about it, we could do this graphically. Okay? So if I were to graph y equals x squared minus 4x plus 6, okay, again, you would find the axis symmetry, and then you would use that to find the rest of the vertex, okay? And then, in order to get a better picture of the graph, you need to find the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts. For this particular problem, you're actually going to, if you were to factor this and try to figure it out, you would realize that there's only imaginary roots, there's no real roots, meaning this graph doesn't cross the x-axis. And so it would be pretty difficult to factor and draw. But with the help of some online tools and a graphing calculator, again, this is at mathway.com, and it looks really nice and it works really nice. I'm going to type in x squared minus 4x plus 6. Okay? So you'll notice that in green right here, that is my parabola. You'll notice that the vertex is about at 2, 2, and it crosses the y-axis here at 6. But notice, like I said, there's no x-intercepts because it doesn't cross the x-axis. And that means there's two imaginary factors, which if you would have done that, that's what you would have gotten. Okay? So, and just like the parabola, we can also graph the line. That's not hard. We start at the y-intercept 2 and then use our slope in front of x, which is positive 1. So we go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Let's go ahead and type that in here. Okay, and there it is. So notice how the y-intercept's right here at 2, and then we go up 1 over 1 and follow that pattern, and you'll see that there's two places where the line crosses the parabola. And the goal is we want to find those two places. Now, if you have a graphing calculator, it makes it really simple. There's actually a function that will tell you exactly what it is. Okay, and if you try to do it in your own papers, you could try your best, but it'd be hard to get an exact answer. Again, here on the graphing calculator, I could just put my cursor up to, I know that's 1, 3, and this one here is 4, 6. But, again, if you didn't graph, what would be the way to solve this system? Okay? Well, you could solve it if we know some tools. So, we can actually still use the same exact tools that we learned from linear systems. We can use substitution. We can also use elimination. So, I will show you both, and then we'll do an example together. And then I will give you some practice problems to try. Then you have a little bit of a quiz. All right, so in this number 2 here, so y equals x squared minus 4x plus 6 and y equals x plus 2. So you know that y equals both of those. So if y equals both of those, that means I can set both expressions equal to each other because y equals both of them. So that means I can write x squared minus 4x plus 6 equals x plus 2. Because both of them are equal to y, I can set them both equal to each other. Okay? And then the next step you need to determine is, okay, what kind of equation do I have here? Or what is my biggest exponent, which is x squared. So that means my equation is automatically going to be quadratic, meaning there needs to be two different answers because the highest exponent tells us how many answers I'm going to have. So that means I need to treat this as a quadratic equation. If that's going to happen, I need to set the equation equal to 0. So let's subtract x from both sides, and let's subtract 2 from both sides. So those cancel. Here I have x squared minus 5x, and 6 minus 2 is positive 4 equals 0. Okay. This one I think would work if we did x factor. Again, when you solve a quadratic, it could be quadratic formula, completing the square, factoring, especially when it's a trinomial like this. So let's try x factoring here. All right, let's start up here. Again, positive 4 will go on top, negative 5 on the bottom. So what two numbers multiply to give me positive 4, but add to give me negative 5? I think negative 1 and negative 4, because negative times a negative is a positive 4, but negative 1 plus negative 4 is negative 5. Look at that. That's going to work out nice. So I rewrite my equation, minus 4x minus 5. Okay, let's group them. Factor out, GCF. I can factor out of the x out of the first one. I can factor out a negative 4. Wait a second, what am I doing wrong here? Oh, I see what I did wrong. The end of the equation isn't minus 5, it's plus 4. The end of the equation is negative 5, it's plus 4. So, I can factor out the negative 4 here, and I get x minus 1. And then the parentheses match. Perfect. So x minus 1. And I write the leftovers here, x minus 4. And then I solve each parenthesis, which if you were to solve, you would get x equals 1 and x equals 4. So those are the two x parts of my two places where they cross each other. But now I need to plug x in back into the original equations to find the y part. And again, you can choose whichever equation you want, but look at this bottom one. Looks so easy. Just plug in the number for x and then add 2. So if I were to plug 1 in here, I get y equals 1 plus 2. And so that means y equals 3. So my first ordered pair is 1, 3. So that's my first answer where they cross. Then let's plug in 4 into the equation. So y equals 4 plus 2, and 4 plus 2 equals 6. And so my second ordered pair is 4, 6. And that's the analytical way of doing it if you use substitution. And it worked out really nicely because, again, if both equations equal y, all you have to do is set them equal to each other and then solve it as a quadratic. And again, if you were to look at the picture, again, our order pairs were 1, 3 and 4, 6. So if I were to come back here, again, 1, 3 and 4, 6. Those are the two places where they cross each other. All right, so now let's use another method here. What if I used elimination instead? Okay, if I chose to use elimination, this is what would happen. Okay, so elimination, everything has to line up. So y equals x squared minus 4x plus 6. And here, the second equation, the linear equation, doesn't have any x squared, so I'm going to leave it blank and just put x plus 2. Okay, so now I actually need to eliminate it somehow, and the way I'm going to do that, again, we have to find a way that we cancel out one of our variables, or we can just add them together right now. Okay, so if we add them together right now, well, actually we have to multiply by negative 1 because we have to eliminate y. There we go, that's right. So I had to multiply the bottom one by negative 1 because we need the y's to cancel, so I can just figure out the rest of it. So if I multiply the bottom one by negative 1, I still have y equals x squared minus 4x plus 6 on top. On the bottom, I have negative y equals negative x minus 2. Okay? So now if I add those together, those cancel. I still have x squared. Add those together, we get minus 5x. And then combine those, we get plus 4. So I'm in the same spot as I was before. I would need to do the x factor chart, find the two places where the x is, and then plug those x answers in to find the y. So either elimination or substitution will work. Substitution is really nice because you already know y equals both of those things, and so all you need to do is combine those two equations. So the goal of tonight's homework is that you're going to just do 2 problems. Okay, I'm going to pick 2 problems for you, and then what you're going to do is you're going to type the answers in, and you're going to know if you got them right or wrong. Okay, and then we'll do some more problems tomorrow in class. And thank you guys for watching this video.